What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jack here with another NBA draft profile. Checking out Malik Monk today. Now, Malik Monk is definitely one of my favorite players to watch in this year's class. Obviously, when he gets it going, he's got that Klay Thompson-like heat factor. Now, Monk was a 6'3" guard this past season for Kentucky. He weighed in 195 pounds or so, and he's one of those normal human beings whose wingspan's about the same as their height at 6'4", and that's one of the reasons that people ding him a little bit on the defensive end of the court. He doesn't have that length that you look for at the two-guard position, but we'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. For now, really, Monk, if you haven't seen him play, he is a electric scorer. He gets off threes very quickly, like Steph Curry-like in that aspect, where he will just fire it off whenever on the fast break, pull up, and anytime, any place, he will shoot a three-pointer, no matter how deep he is, especially if he's made one previously. He's just more apt to fire one up, and he had the green light. If that's saying that's the biggest understatement from John Calipari this past season, and he had no fear. Okay, this guy has ridiculous confidence that J.R. Smith, really irrational confidence that a player like Monk has, and is able to really at times take over games because of it, because he's able to just put up 30 points at any given time, at any given game. And I think at the next level, he's going to be freed up a little bit more. The spacing will be that much greater, that he's going to have even at times bigger games more consistently. But I don't want to get too carried away here, because there are some things about Monk's game that do have levels of concern for me moving to the NBA. But this past season, he's a guy who averaged 20 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and he shot 45% from the field, 40% from three, and 82% from the free throw line. Now, why did I say I'm a little bit concerned about Monk? Well, for one, decision making, right? This is a guy who, despite not having the ball in his hands all that often with De'Aaron Fox on the team, he turned it over just over 2 times a game. And sometimes you got to also question his shot selection. Yes, I know he has that. He's got that great confidence, and you do need to have that. And at times that is going to lead to bad shots, but I felt like it was too often where he wasn't taking great shots, bad shots rather. And he also just forced things at times. And I felt like Malik Monk, if he needs to tone down just a little bit, and he can, really kind of, and he'll figure that out as he gets older, but he'll really kind of become more efficient, because even the way he shot the ball this past year, he's really, limited in the half-court game. Besides shooting the 3-ball, he needs to really develop that, mid-range floater aspect. And he hits them at important times. Like, he hit a clutch late floater. But, consistently, I don't think that part of his game is there yet. And he's not really a guy who is going to get to the free throw line a ton. He got to the line about 4 times a game this past season, but that's not really something that's part of his game. As I said, he's really a 3-point shooter he does have, he also won the slam dunk contest, but that's really more utilizing the transition game for Monk, where he is lethal, but you get him in the half court, and it's definitely more of a challenge for him to score the basketball if he doesn't, especially if you can keep him cold early on in the game. Limit those transition opportunities for Monk in the beginning, and you got a shot against him towards the end of the game in terms of guarding him. Now, on the flip side, defensively, Monk, he doesn't have that length. He also, at times, I don't want to say is disinterested defensively, but he's not fully focused is the best word. And he, takes plays, and I don't, he doesn't take plays off, but he'll kind of lose his man for a second or get lost, especially in the off-ball scenarios. On ball, when he wants to lock in, he's a very capable defender. But it's and the narrative about him being a bad defender is a little bit overblown. But it's the off-ball lapses that have me a little bit more worried than any of the on-ball stuff. Although on-ball, he's never going to be an elite defender. I just think he's a solid one, and he's not going to be a guy where you got to cover for him consistently in terms of his on-ball defense. But, to sum up Malik Monk, I just think he's a guy who flat out gets buckets. He's super confident. He's going to find a way. He's not going to find a way. He's going to score at a high level at the next level. The questions are, what else is he going to do for you? And, are his distractions in terms of being in terms of being an off-ball defender, and, what else is he going to do offensively for you? He's not really much of a creator. He doesn't rebound very much, and he also turns the ball over pretty often. And so you do have other concerns with a guy like Monk, and what else is he going to provide? And so therefore, you got to have nice pieces surrounding him so he doesn't have to do so much, and so the other aspects of his game can develop, because that's what he's really going to need the most work on, really. Because, yes, his scoring is really just that good right now. He's going to be able to score at the next level, but if your team can surround him with pieces so the rest of his game can come along slowly, he's going to have a chance to become a very good all-star type level player, because let's face it, the NBA is about offense and not defense primarily. And if you can put up points, there's a chance they're going to put you in an all-star game. So, guys, let me know what you think about Malik Monk in the comments below. Do you disagree with me? Do you think he's going to struggle scoring? Or do you also disagree and think he is much more well-rounded than I have him described to be? And, what other prospects do you want to see me break down? Obviously, we want to hear from you. Remember to give me a follow on Twitter at NBA DraftWiz. Thanks for listening, and I am out.